Yo, live from Los Angeles, California, specifically the Dream Hotel. You know this guy next to me, Chief Johnson, Malik Rashid, multi-platinum, multi-Grammy award-winning producer, great human being, Ray Romulus from the Stereotypes.
Thank you so much for having me.
Man, thank you so much for being here. Seriously, man.
For
Thank you
sure.
so much for being here. How's it going? How you feeling?
It's going good, coming off of this long weekend with the family, happy to be back at work. Happy
Okay.
for, you guys having me, taking me out of my comfort zone.
You chilling, huh?
Yeah. No, usually,
What's
like I
going
said, I'm usually on the other side of this, working with artists and watching them do interviews. And, I just, you hit me up. I'm like, yo, you know what? I had to come through.
Nah, I share with Ray that he was one of the guys that because we're always sort of pivoting, right? Or that we're pivoting.
All the time.
And I share with Ray that having known him for a while, like, hey, I remember you were A&R at Def Jam, and then sort of took the bull by the horns and was just like, I'm gonna go build this empire, which is the Stereotypes production team, and you guys have obviously done amazing things, and so like watching that pivot and watch how confidently you did it, even though we know behind the scenes there's always sort of there's a little bit of turbulence. There's
Oh, for
moments
sure.
of self-doubt and, yo, am I being practical? I got a family. You know what I mean? The things that our decisions are sort of anchored in. But yeah, so with that being said, had to have you here so you could, drop some gems on us.
For sure.
Yeah. So, where did it all start? I know you originally from New York. We're at New York specifically.
So I was born in Brooklyn. I lived in Queens for like 13 years, and around seventh, eighth grade, my family we moved upstate New York. So because it was getting a little rough where we were living. So my dad was like, "Yeah, we gotta get out of here. I want a better life for my kids." So we moved to a little town called Washingtonville, and I went to high school up there, um, and then went to college. I only spent like 2 years in college. I went to the school called New Paltz, and that's where I actually I was like in high school. I was this big Puff fan. I always wanted to emulate my life or my career. Like I was like, you know what? I want to be like Puff. And actually, let me bring it all the way back. I'm a drummer
Okay.
first.
Okay.
My father was a choir director. He led the church in praise and worship, and I played the drums since I was like 5. So I realized at an early age that, or not even at an early age, towards going to college, I realized like I want to get into the music industry. You know what I mean? So if I want to be in the music industry, I've got to I've got to go through these certain avenues, and Puff was the one that I, looked at to do that. Um, and I saw that he, he got an internship at what was it, Howard? He went
Hmm.
to Howard, got an
Caught the
internship,
train up every
caught the
day,
train up,
two
and it's
hours.
funny because I sort of did the same thing.
Okay.
So, and I knew he like threw parties and all this thing, and uh, I got the opportunity to go to New York and interview with him.
Wait, Puff interviewed you?
Not no. So I interviewed
Okay.
with I interviewed with
Bad boy.
yeah, Bad Boy,
Okay.
Francesca Spiro. I interviewed with her, and she hired me as an intern. Yeah.
How crazy is that to like identify Puff as like kind of, this is somebody that I look up to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking at their career. Now you're beginning an internship at that place. Like what was that like?
It was crazy because I wasn't making much money. You know what I mean? So I had to like support. I had to support my life and going to, like I was going to school and I was faking like I was going to school for like 2 years to my parents because the deal was I had to be going to school in order to live in the city. So when I
Because they were financing you living in the city.
not really. They weren't financing me
Just
living
a parent,
It's just
child,
appearance. Yeah,
Okay,
you know,
off.
okay,
yeah,
okay.
parents, you know, they're from the islands. They're from Haiti. So, you know, for them, the music industry was a thing that it didn't make sense to them.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, you got to get a degree, you got to get a proper job to support, you know, your life and have a family and blah blah blah. But I took the unconventional route, and I was like, I knew what I wanted to do. You know, I was like, I know I want to be in this music industry, and so I was, you know, there's this girl that was working in the admin office, and I was dating her for a while, and she would make these fake progress reports and report cards, and they would send it to my house, and I would fake like I was still going to school,
Shout
but
out her. She's a
yeah,
legend.
but
Shout out to her.
but yeah, the whole time I was just like I was still interning. You know, I was treating that internship like my job.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I figured out a way to get an official Bad Boy email address.
Okay.
So you know what I mean? Like I was
Yeah.
working my way to get into getting a business card because I knew at that time it was like you weren't official until you can
Card.
walk around and here's my
Yeah.
card. You know.
Woo!
You know, hit me.
Hey, you got that bad boy logo on there
Exactly.
during
exactly.
that time? What?
And one of the turning points at Bad Boy was when he was running the marathon,
Okay.
and they were asking people who wants to volunteer to work out with Puff.
He was like,
And I was like, damn, the marathon, Jesus. You know, I'm an athlete, but like, all right. And I just raised my hand and I jumped out there and I was like, I'll run with him. And you know, the first training day, I did like 13 miles with him. But I just knew that if I just got close enough and built a relationship,
proximity.
you know,
Proximity.
just being in that ice, this in his, you know, in that, just being around, he'd be like, oh, I would build a rapport with him. So we would run around Central Park, and eventually I started like babysitting the kids sometimes, and you know, he would trust me enough to take the jewelry to get cleaned at, you know, Jacob, blah 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 blah. And I knew if you did these little tasks, you know, that could translate into getting a job. And that's exactly what happened.
Which one of them kids was you babysitting? Justin?
Not Justin, it was Christian and Quincy.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And
Young
this is when they
King
were
Combs.
like, yeah, this is when they were like, yay, hi, I'll take them to the
Okay.
arcade or whatever.
Okay.
And Norma, who's Puff's assistant at the time, was like, yo, this kid he's working his ass off.
Dope.
And she was close with Karen Kwok, who was head of A&R at Arista. And at the time, she was looking for an assistant for Jermaine Drupri. And Norma goes, yo, we got this kid here who's just hustling, doing his thing. You need to meet him. And I literally ran over to Arista, sat with Karen Kwok. She's like, I like you. I want to introduce you to Jermaine, see if it works out. And it did. You know, and that became Jermaine Dupri's assistant.
So did you go to Atlanta or were you still in New York?
So I was back and forth, New York and Atlanta.
Is this at the time when because I know one time he's running Arista for a little bit.
Correct.
But he also was the president at Def Jam at some point, right? When LA was there. Him and Brian Postel, I think, were.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, I was already gone then.
Okay.
I think I was already, nah. I don't remember him being
So he was at
president.
Arista.
He was still at Arista. We all went to like Jive.
Okay,
and then
okay.
LA went to Def Jam.
Okay.
Which is another crazy story because, you know, working with JD, I was assistant for like maybe a year and a half.
Okay.
It was like the first year they were having the VMAs.
Okay.
In Miami. The one good thing about working with JD was that he was really close friends with Jay-Z. So we would always kick it, play pool, whatever. And the year that they did the VMAs in Miami, JD didn't want to go, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm going." So I get down there. I find out that Jay-Z's throwing a yacht party, and I don't have the invite, but someone gave me the info of where it was gonna be, and I'm like, you know what? If I pull up,
Confidently
if
pull
he
up.
sees me, I'm gonna get in.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. I get to the address where the boat's docked. The boat's literally like, the walkway's right there. I'm standing there and just, in the perfect position, and just talking to a friend, and out comes J and B out the car. They start walking, into the entrance, and Jay sees me. He's like, "Yo, what up? Where's JD at?" I was like, "He didn't make the trip." He's like, I'm just like,
Yo, so you go.
he's like, so what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. What's good? He goes, You want to go into the party? I'm like, yes, please. I would love to. I would love
Obviously.
to. And I get into the party, and that is actually what got me my A&R job with LA. Because while I was in the party, LA sees me, and he goes, "Bro, you find your way into everything, bro."
He likes that kind of that's LA.
He loves that.
He loves that.
So when he saw it, he was like, "Yo, I'm at Def Jam now. What do you think about being an A&R over there?" And I'm like,
absolutely.
I want to go back a little bit and talk about the internship and the power also of identifying your purpose early. I know there's still internships, kids go through internships, but when we were coming up, internships weren't paid.
they weren't.
Nothing.
You worked from the back of the house, meaning boxes, meaning get coffee, get food, do all these things, and people were watching. So I want you to talk about the importance of the work you put in, and not only the work but also making sure you stay connected to the correct people that then continue to open doors for you. Because
sure.
I feel like that's a lost. It's an art, but also it's a lost
It's lost
thing, because these kids, I know, because I've had so many interns, and they come in and it's like they want to check boxes, and then they already want to start working on like the cool things, the events. And
It's funny because at our studio now we have interns, and I just kind of watch them sometimes because I'm like, yo, I still move as if I am an intern, because those little tasks that we're asking them to do are the biggest things, like the details. If I say, "Hey, can you get me a turkey cheese, no tomatoes," like a specific thing, and it comes back and it doesn't have that exact thing, then if you can't do that, how can you do the bigger things?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for us, it's like, if like when I was an intern, I used to do things like Mary J and Kendu would come up, and I would have to sit in the car so they don't get a ticket downstairs, and you know what I mean? Like, there are things that they need to be able to trust you with.
Yes.
And if they can't do it, then how do you expect to, move up and get a bigger role in the company?
Yeah. And people are watching.
They're
These
watching.
people put you in place. They may not be paying you, but they put you in place for a reason. And you're tending to their business. So if you're tending to their business as if it's your business, that doesn't go unseen.
Correct.
And I'm the same. I'm just like you. Like, I continue to this day, if I'm needed to, I'll go pick up boxes.
Same.
I'll go ship boxes. I'll go sit at the warehouse. I'll do all those things, because if another kid sees that I'm willing to do that, maybe he'll go, "Damn, okay, I'm not working as hard as I should be."
And I noticed that. Like, I noticed when certain interns are, are going to another level, because then I'm even more interested to say, "Yo, what do you do? Like, because I know you're here for something. Like,
Yeah, what's your desire?
What's your desire?
What's your
like,
real desire?
So you're a producer? Oh, no, you're a video. Like,
I'm a filmmaker, whatever.
Whatever it is, like that's what we're actually doing that right now. Like, I just discovered one of our interns makes content, so now I can use him to, help with the artists that we're trying to develop. So, and back to what you were saying, I have no problems sweeping our own floors or whatever, taking the trash. Because I show them like, you're never too big to, you know.
And also, it's yours, right? It's yours. So it's just like your home. Like,
Correct.
I'm going to get up, I'm going to wash the dishes, I'm going to pull the trash cans in. The pool man don't, whatever, you know what I mean? I got to do what I got to, it's my home.
Correct.
So if they see you take stock in your home, right? The value, like, they're going to follow. That's going to follow. So it's, yeah. Because they're watching you as much as you're watching them.
For sure.
So boom, now we back at the yacht party.
Yeah, let's.
So we at the yacht party. Everyone's there.
Hold on.
Was it a white?
With that said, salud, salud.
Salud.
With that said.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother. Was it an all white? Was it free for all, Rockaware?
Definitely wasn't all white, because I know I hit one of them like Zara type stores before.
Yo, Zara is clutch.
Yo, Zara is stepping it up, bro.
Still to this day.
Clutch.
Yeah.
I done wore a Zara suit to the Rock Nation brunch multiple times.
1000%.
Shout out to Zara.
1000%. But yeah, no, it was incredible.
Did you know L.A. Reid prior to the boat?
That was another layer to. So when going back to the marathon thing, so when I got my job with JD, I was still training with Puff for the marathon.
Okay.
So when I got to the Arista building, LA heard about the kid that just started there and running the marathon with Puff. So he goes, I need to meet the kid. So I go down to his office. He was like, hey, man, I heard that you're running with Puff. Do you mind running with me, like around Central Park? I'm like, sure. We start working out.
This dude is just running.
Running, yeah.
Forrest
Still
Gump.
running.
Yeah.
So like those were like organic ways that we, built relationships, and
it's a lot like life, though, right?
Yeah.
Like in the sense that it's so very easy to point out the things that separate us. Like, it's easily like people on the street you would never talk to, but maybe you guys share a passion for, I got friends who share passion for poker.
Mm-hmm.
They all play on Friday nights, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's their thing. And through that, a number of relationships are developed, and businesses are built right there. You know what I mean? Like everybody's like, oh, you should meet him because he does this, he does that. Golf, all of these things. That's another, I think, lost art for these kids, is like not reading the room. You should read the room, and proximity isn't just automatically being close, but proximity is figuring out the proximity.
Right.
Like, okay, he's a sports fan. I'm a sports fan. I got to find a way to let him know I love sports. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like me and LA, we got along also because he was I don't know if LA's a diehard like sports fan, but he's a diehard excellence fan. And he loved Kobe.
For sure.
So we would be at the Peninsula watching Kobe. Like, you know what I mean? When Kobe was playing and they were still competing for championships, that was his shit.
Yeah.
He's an excellence kind of guy. So that again was my face card with him, was my ability to, whether it was like the acts that I was showing or just like information. He'd be like, how the fuck did you know that?
Right.
And the information was dead on.
Right.
He loves those kind of things. And that's what, again, the transfer of information has to happen to the next generation, which is about, again, finding your face card,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Like finding your face card that's going to get you in the room. And then from there, you figuring out, how do I stay in the room?
And how to add value to the room.
How to add value to the room. Because once you get in there, is the thing. All right, you in here, but you still gotta. You should feel every day like, I gotta work to stay in this motherfucker.
For sure.
Because that's like you. You could have just went to the party to go. I know so many people that want to go to the party just to be at the party.
There was a
I
mission.
never wanted to go to the party just to be at the party.
For sure.
I'm looking at the DJ. I'm looking at the door guy. I want to know who the owner is. I'm like that still to this day. We'll go eat somewhere, and I'm like, Who's the head chef here? Who's
And
the
you know, working with JD, that's one thing I did. I made sure I built my like Rolodex of people. I was meeting, you know, between him, he was dealing with songwriters and other producers and managers. When he's dealing with them, I'm in the room too, and making sure I build a relationship with them. And I use that to transfer into, you know, being an A&R.
Yeah.
and how was that? Now you've already in a short amount of time it went from college student to intern to now assistant JD, and now you're getting ready to start embarking this journey as an A&R. Was that the scariest
Nah,
shit, or
dude,
you were just
I
like,
think I was so fearless, bro. Like in that moment in life, like I was so fearless, and things were happening so fast. Like my first week being an A&R, I brought in this track from the Co-Stars, and
I remember the co-stars.
remember the Co-Stars?
Yes. I remember
So the Co-Stars, back to like what I was saying, I was building my Rolodex, and I was getting beats from everyone, like, and I had this one track. I was like, yo, this shit is fire. And I remember playing it for LA. I said, LA, we need a girl that can kill this. And at that yacht party is where I met Sean Garrett. So I met Sean Garrett at that yacht party.
wow.
The month later, I got my A&R job. That first week, I played LA this track from the Co-Stars. I was like, yo, this joint's crazy. I think Sean Garrett should write this. And it happened to be the first single for Tierra Marie, Make a
Wow.
Girl Feel,
Mm.
Make Her Feel Good. And it's so funny because that was the same week that Jay-Z came in to be president. And I remember walking in, this is after we did the song. I remember walking in, I played it for him. He goes, yo, this is crazy. And then he ended up bringing her into Rockefeller.
Rockefeller.
Yeah.
Crazy time.
So that was the
man.
first week. And then literally the second week is when I met John from the Stereotypes.
Wow.
What was he?
What was he
at-
doing?
So they were already the Stereotypes.
Okay.
So
Oh.
it was him and two other partners. And they had an artist named Dirty 3. And it's so crazy. Everything has been like serendipitous.
Isn't it always?
It's always.
It really is.
It's always. Which is why I don't even question things. I just move. You know what I mean? Like we're supposed to be here.
Yeah.
You know? But I was so focused on making sure my office was so like fly, blah blah blah. I remember getting a call from Empora, and she goes, and she was managing the Stereotypes at the time. She goes, "Hey, I'm downstairs. I got the Stereotypes down here with 3," and I'm like,
Like who?
"Who? I don't even. What are you talking about?" And I was this close from saying, "Yo, can we just do this another day? Like, I'm putting records on my wall. I need to get this. I'm, you know, connecting to noise speakers, whatever."
Yo, that shit's, it's fun, right?
Yes.
Because when you get your office,
first
My
office?
your
first office.
listen,
I don't want to hear nothing else.
I don't want to hear shit you saying right now. I'm trying to get all my shit together. I want to know where the eating spots are. I'm trying to get my office straight.
Bruh.
You know what I'm saying? I'm walking around the building. I'm trying to get my feet up under me. So
Correct.
again, go ahead.
So, so getting the office right, and something said, "Ray, just take the meeting." I said, "All right, come up." Hang up. They walk in, meet everyone, pass me the demo, pop it in. I'm playing. I'm like, "Yo, this shit's fire. This is dope. Hey, let me play this for Karen." So I play it for Karen. Karen's like, "I like it. Let's play for LA." Play for LA. We love it. He gets signed literally that afternoon. Gets signed. That builds. That just that's our relationship, right? Like that's what started our relationship. And I would fly from New York to LA, back and forth. And I wasn't like your normal like A&R where I just set things up. I think I was always I'm a musician, so I always approach things as a producer. So I would like create the beats with them, and that's how we built our, you know,
The rapport,
our
right?
rapport.
And the trust.
Exactly.
Because creatives got to know that you, like, for them to take anything from you, they got to be like, all right, let me look at what he looking like.
It's all of that. We judging a book by
Look,
everything.
let me look what he looking
Yeah.
You
like.
didn't want the executive producer from just sitting in the studio.
Nah.
Exactly.
He was like, I'm in here.
I'm in here. I'm like, no,
Nah.
I don't know if I like the snare. Like, let's change that. That kick, the pattern. Like, this is how I approached everything.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, nothing happened with him as an artist. But that was one of the biggest things that, that
Happened to
changed
you in your
for
life.
me in my life.
Yeah.
Because I met John and
Yeah.
and the rest of the guys. So when I got let go from Def Jam in 07, the first person I called was John. I was like, hey, I just got fired,
Got a
bro.
roster spot for me?
Yo, I was like, I just got fired. I don't know if I want to do another A&R job. I think I just want to be a producer and join your team. What do you
Really?
think? Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's so funny because I thought it was all over, man. Because everything was happening so quick and progressively that,
We talked about this.
yeah. I thought it was. I'm like, man.
You think it's over?
You think it's over because it's like it's going like this. It's going like this.
And then-
And my identity was the kid from
Def Jam.
Def Jam.
Yeah.
That's my identity now.
Now let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because
Before we dive.
that is how we do that's how we fuck ourselves. That our
I'm not
identity
that.
is, I'm the senior vice president A&R at Epic. I used to literally be like, who are you? Just at a regular place.
Right.
I'm the vice president of Epic. Okay, what's your name? But at the time, that's what, you know what I mean? Because you knew what it took to get there.
Right.
So it's like, yo, I'm from Long Beach. I'm from the west side of Long Beach in Springdale. You know what I'm saying? I'm from a housing project, low-income housing, whatever you want to call it, and I fucking made it. So you better believe at every moment,
Right.
yo, I'm the vice president of A&R.
Right.
You know what I'm
This is what
saying?
I am.
L.A. Reid, if you don't know, L.A. Reid, Sade, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
At the time, Michael Jackson's label. But that's not who we are.
Correct.
It is just a small
But they
iteration.
treat us as such though when you're not,
Mm-hmm.
because when you're not there, I can't use you for anything. So it's
The
like
phone stopped ringing.
stop ringing, bro. Like literally,
They stopped ringing.
It was crickets, bro.
Crickets.
So
Crickets.
Crickets.
True.
And even when I did join the Stereotypes, I knew, you know what? I can't be front facing on this. I can't be the guy, like the producer now. So what I did was I laid low. When I moved out to LA, I moved into his spare bedroom in his condo, and that was our studio. And when we would send, beat CDs or demos or whatever out, I never was a part of it. Like I never said, "Oh, I'm Ray, the producer."
Is that because you were still feeling the effects of having been let go or whatever, and you felt like, and then there's also this thing of, we got to play defense. I got to strategize.
I had to strategize, but then
Okay,
I also
okay.
know how people are, like how they take information in sometimes.
Yeah.
If they know, oh, you produced it, it sounds different to them now.
Right.
But if it was someone else, oh, this is fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for literally like 6 months, laid low.
Yeah.
Cook. Every day we made beats. And, built our network of songwriters and blah, blah, blah. In literally 6 months, we did a song for Danny Kane, Damaged. And that was...
Still a banger.
Rose, what's up?
What up,
Jado,
Rose?
what up?
Before we move forward, I want to get like a piece of advice from the younger you and you now for people that there's so much layoffs going on right now. I know at least 6 to 8 people within the last week that have gotten laid off their kind of high profile positions.
Yeah.
And some people have a hard time rebounding from those things.
Yeah.
What's a piece of advice or something you would give, somebody like that that's going through that?
Man, I mean, I can't. I'm not really the best at giving advice. All I could do is give my own testimony, and hopefully it connects with you. But like for me, the reason I chose to team up with like John and those guys is because for me, their character played a role first. Like these are good people.
Okay.
They're dope. And there's people that's way more talented than us, but but I know that they're good people, and I feel like if you team up and you find people that are like-minded and want to go the same direction as you can find your way. You know what I mean? Build your own ecosystem.
Yeah.
You know?
And how important that's important, right? Building something of your own.
Of your own.
Because when it's not your own, somebody can always pull
Correct.
the rug from up under you.
And that's what I could have easily, and I had a couple, opportunities, to be an A&R somewhere else, soon after, but I was like, nah, I think I want to figure this out.
I'm gonna stay out here and
I'm
figure
gonna stay out
this
here
out.
and figure it out,
Yeah.
and we're gonna do this on our own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that change? When? Because I don't know when. At some point, you have your children, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when those things enter the room, now you feel a sense of urgency,
It
like
has to happen.
it's got to happen.
It
Like
has
I
to.
can't fuck around. Like
yeah, when I didn't have kids, I was just out here, and
Yeah.
it was fun, and there were no consequences if
if you didn't,
if
I'm
I
gonna just go
didn't.
sleep on the couch.
Yeah,
Somebody's.
worst case, hey mom, dad, I'm coming back to New York or whatever.
Mhm.
But yeah, definitely that added another layer of making like it has to happen. Now I have my daughter, and
I think the first time I actually saw Ray was I knew his name, like Ray Romulus, but it was so Bruno was signed to Cameron String, and
is this when he was at
remember right there, West Side Publishing, whatever.
Yeah.
Steve,
Yep.
it also was okay, and Brody would be in there playing too.
Yeah.
And I remember Bruno had just done his song deal, and he had the record with B.O.B. coming out.
Oh, so yeah, see, I met Bruno way before that.
No, I know you met
Oh,
him
yeah,
way
yeah.
before that, but I'm just saying, I remember that song being played, and Cameron said, "Yo, that's Brody's bass line," and I'm working for Cameron at the time. He's like, "I got to talk to them," you know what I mean? And I remember then that record is shooting,
Gone.
and I see you and Bruno at right there on Beverly, right by that one hotel. Right, there's a little club right there, right by Jerry's Deli.
Oh, yeah. We were walking out. This is after he did the Flow Rider song.
Yes.
And I remember he was in my car, and he was like,
And he just jumped out.
yo, he was in the car, and he screamed out because the song was playing on the radio. He was like, I fucking did this.
Yes, I just happened to be walking out of it, and y'all just
Yeah.
ran into the spot. And I'd known Bruno for a minute because Mike Lynn had signed him first,
Yeah.
and got him his deal at Universal with Sylvia, and I was working for
Yeah.
Mike Lynn, so because he was like, "Yo, I got this kid from Hawaii," and Bruno, he when I first met him, I was like, "This is like little Justin Guarini," because he had like, the hair and the little
right,
jacket and
right.
everything, and he could sing his face off, but he didn't quite have the identity yet.
Right.
And then, obviously after getting dropped by Universal, he was able, again, to our point, able to find
It's funny because
him
it's funny
in
because
writing the records.
I actually tried to save my A&R job when I
Okay.
got let go from Def Jam.
Okay.
Because he was working with Philip Lawrence.
Yes. He was right in the middle.
Yeah.
Because he was, yeah.
Phil, the same week I got fired, Phil sent me a CD. He goes, bro, I just started working with this kid named Bruno Mars. He's fire. He sends me the CD, and I'm like, holy shit, this is incredible. Let me bring this to Def Jam, see if I can save my job. So I walk in there, I play the music. Not gonna say who I played it for, but they were like, yeah, I don't know about this. He sounds too much like Michael Jackson. I was like, is that a bad thing?
Like what?
What? Oh, okay. And rest is history. I mean, obviously, I flew back to LA, and we teamed up, and we worked a lot. And obviously,
Y'all have worked a lot. You guys have won a lot.
yeah,
A lot.
yeah, no, but yeah, I mean, he went off and did Nothing on You, right? Nothing on You, and I don't think we worked for a while, and then we reconnected during the
24
karat
karat,
magic. Yeah,
which
I
is
mean, which
amazing.
is, yeah.
Full circle
full
moment.
circle. Yeah,
Full
There
circle.
needs to be a documentary on the worst decisions
No,
of
you
A&R.
listen.
I mean everybody.
Listen, listen. People would be like, if it came out, they would be like, yo, they would be, yo,
No, yeah, everybody.
everybody would be so defensive
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I know the person that said who dropped Gaga.
Oh, yeah, we do.
We know that. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny. I remember when they used to tell these
Bruno too. I took Bruno. So my first meeting at Epic before LA, I met with Charlie Walk to get the gig.
Yeah.
Johnny Shipes and
Johnny.
yeah, Shipes and Zach Katz helped facilitate it. Introduced me to Brandon Creed and Keith Nafterly. They flew me out to New York. Charlie flies me out to New York, and he in the meeting he says, "Who do you want to sign?" I said, "I want to sign Bruno Mars." And at the time, Pitbull wasn't signed. He had just left TVT.
TVT.
He was in the middle of things, and I was like, "We could sign." He was like, "Pitbull's too regional, and Bruno Mars, I'm not sure."
Wow.
This is real shit. You know what I mean? And so, you know, we all got those stories, like where we're just like, really, this could have changed the trajectory of my life. You know what I mean? But maybe it wasn't, like you said, it's serendipitously. Maybe it wasn't meant for us to sit in that. It finds its way, you know? It finds its way. It finds its way.
So Damage, right? Damage comes out.
Yeah.
Is that like is that the moment where you're like, oh, this is like extremely real now?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, life definitely changed because, like I said, I was living in someone's spare bedroom. I'm now able to, you know, move out, get my own place, finally get a car, and then we use some of that money to now, you know, reinvest into our own business where we got a studio space in North Hollywood sharing with the Underdogs.
So,
You know,
2 questions. Did you reconnect with Puff because they come from the show, right?
bro, that was crazy because when I get down there, you know, they're shooting Making the Band. He's literally like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "Yo, we produced a song." And it's been like it was funny now reappearing as an you know, resurfacing as a producer now.
Love it.
When we did Justin Bieber, Somebody to Love, LA came to the session, and when he walks in, I'm sitting at the controls, and he was just like, "Yo, what are you doing here?" I was like, "Oh, I did the song."
What a time.
So those were the best times, like reconnecting with people.
Those
and
are the
seeing-
moments, right?
Those are the moments where you're
You
like,
ain't got to say shit in those moments.
those are the moments,
like
man.
it's too late. It's too late for you to do something right now because you already
Yeah.
love the song. It's paid for. It's already out. You know.
Wow.
Because there is that.
And then you
That's what
touched
I'm saying.
upon
You got to be strategic with everything.
everything.
Because there are forces that are
Literally
There are
not
forces.
wanting you to get to the next space.
correct.
And you don't know. It's crazy. But
Yeah.
go ahead
I
to
was
your
going to say
question.
the other part of it is talk about the importance of investing back into your own business.
Oh man, it's everything because then you have more ownership, more because the more you take from other people to do, the more you're giving up. You know what I mean? So we believe in ourselves. We always bet on ourselves.
There it is. There it is.
Nah, I mean, that's how you've always again been that way.
Yeah, we always bet on ourselves, man. We can't follow I mean, don't get me wrong. There were times where we're just like, yo, maybe we should do this. But betting on ourselves is always, we always come out on top.
Something I want to address that we talked about on our call, just me and you. Community within this business, specifically people that look like us, and the perception that I don't want to say perception, but that this is this close, tight-knit community that is holding space for each other. How do we how do we actually get it to that space?
I mean, I feel like we just gotta actually do it.
Do it, right?
My production partner John, who's Chinese, I am sometimes jealous of the Asian community because of how they support each other.
Man.
They're always trying to put each other in position to win, and they galvanize with each other to, just to progress and push the culture or whatever. I just feel like sometimes we don't do that.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm even sitting here.
Yeah.
I usually, like I said, I usually don't do
Yeah.
interviews or podcasts or anything. But Malik hit me. I'm like, yo, I got to support what he's doing. I love what he's doing. I definitely want to be a part of it and help support and help push.
Yeah, I think that's so important because you see what like 88 Rising is doing. And I was talking to you earlier about Far East Movement, who, I came up with them in the club scene back in the day and when they were like huge and their pivot from now not being on the music side, but still empowering their community and doing all those other things. And I think a couple years, the past few years, and everything happened with George Floyd and all these things, and all these companies came out and they're like, we're dedicating hundreds of millions of dollars, and there's
Money
a black
grab.
coalition of music and all these, and there has been absolutely nothing that has happened.
Nothing.
And
Yeah.
one, we don't hold each other accountable, but then also two, like you referenced, there's just something innately about us wanting each other not to win.
And I feel like our community always thinks that there's only could be space for one of us, like one.
Yeah, like
One.
literally one.
It's just like, bruh,
Are you
there's
kidding?
enough for everybody.
Yeah.
It's almost like music, right? Think about it from this standpoint. Sports, music, whatever you want to use, but we'll use music. There's a guy over here that wants to be Breland in country. Support him. Advocate for him. Right?
That's
There's
our boy. Shout out to Breland.
There's a guy who wants to live in the alternative space. You know what I'm saying? Gene Dawson. Support him. Advocate for him. Because he's really good too. Not only, I'm not saying advocate if it doesn't feel good for you,
right.
but if it's artistically aligned, like
Yeah.
this kid's working with Rick Rubin, he's done it all on his own. You guys do what you guys in the pop music space or the more popular music space, and you guys can do anything you want. Support you like you support Metro Boomin.
Right.
Support you like you support whoever, but
Right.
we do not come out for each other. And the thing is that it's sheer numbers alone can change
For sure,
the
man.
control.
For me, like I get so much joy seeing my friends win and seeing other
Yes.
people win. Like that's
Yes.
I feel like that's my purpose. Is
Yes.
to help someone achieve their dream, because the collateral damage of that will be my dreams will be, you know what I mean, I'll achieve mine as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if I help whoever, I'm there too.
I saw you with one of the homies on IG, and I think you were introducing him to Scooter. He works for, Ty. What's Ty's clothing line called?
Ty.
David.
Ty used to be at Def Jam, right?
With
Oh, Tyrone.
no ID. Yes.
Yeah, Tyrone.
Yeah.
Yo, how about this? When I left JD, I don't want to tell Tyrone's business. I mean, I don't think he'll care.
You don't care, Ty.
Ty, you won't care. Ty was working at a grocery store, and I hit Ty. I'm like, yo, Ty, I'm about to be an A&R at Def Jam. Bro, I think you'd be perfect for Jay. What do you think? And he interviewed with JD, and he worked with him for like 6-7 years.
Advocacy.
Bro, like we gotta be there for our brothers.
It's nothing. Like the advocacy, that should be the easiest portion of it, especially if you trust
that this person
can deliver,
Right.
and is not gonna have you out here looking crazy.
Yeah, they're an extension of you.
The easiest thing you could do is like, here, you guys should meet, because I think you add value to each other.
Correct.
And I think it's also a testament because you guys are going on 20 years as a collective.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's
20 years, yeah.
that's huge. You know
Yeah,
what I
like
mean?
for us, it's like, yo, if we're gonna go down, we'll go down together, man. You know what I mean? We win together. It's that bad boy for life thing, but it really is, man.
Yeah.
Like you don't usually see, groups or whatever last that long.
Hell no. I mean, because you have so many personalities, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of anytime you're dealing with multiple people, there's egos, there may be personal things,
Yeah.
financial things. There's just a lot to go through, but it shows like 20 years, especially in this business,
In this.
and to be able to branch out and to do other things. So, we know the Grammys, and you've worked with everybody from Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Celine Dion. I mean, the list goes on. Let's talk about when you started branching out into some of the other things that you guys are doing besides just music.
Yeah. So I just finished working on a show called Bupkiss, starring Pete Davidson.
Yep.
It's called what again?
Bupkiss.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Pete Davidson, Joe Pesci, and that was my first.
You're working with Joe Pesci?
I didn't,
But
but
I'm just
I worked
saying.
on a show that he's in.
Sheesh.
I helped with the like music supervision
Okay.
because I'm a huge fan of like Entourage and
Mhm.
and Scott Venner, and I'm like, yo, I really want to get into that space. But yeah, it's just adding more layers to what we do because it's fun, obviously making songs and working with different artists, but in the climate that we're in now, I don't know if it's not like how it used to be,
Right.
where artists strive to be the biggest,
Greatness.
the greatest. Now I feel like they're happy with just having a little money and a bunch of views and
Being able to get a jet.
get a jet. You know what I mean?
I'm
Like,
taking a private.
but it's not like Beyonce's still out here
Yeah.
killing it, like
Just in London, just
smashing it. But like these new age artists,
They just want to do Rolling Loud
they just want to be able to do that and
on the
like
3 o'clock stage, which is fine.
which is cool.
But
But
what's after
what's
that?
after that? There's a ceiling to that. You know what I mean?
I
So
think
Yeah.
Ty said it, Worldwide Ty. He said the bar is now set so low of
Bruh.
mediocrity. You just want to be able to do like whatever the frequency this person's doing. I'm
and
cool at that.
individuality is like lost. Like back in the day, like if you sounded like someone,
You were gonna get talked about.
Outta
crazy,
here.
crazy. Like now it's just like who's gonna be the next version of the last guy?
Yeah, it's actually who does he sound like?
Yeah, like oh, he sound like perfect.
Yeah, when you're pitching somebody with somebody else's moniker, like that's crazy to me, but that always happens. We just live in a comparison era where everything is like everybody compares everything to everything. Like, well, who does he sound like? Oh, instead of that being like, nah, that's not gonna work. It's like, cool,
Right.
Right.
And then people are scared to like really give their opinion on things. It's like you're a real hater if you say
your
exactly. If I give my opinion, it's like oh no, he's hating. Like nah,
Because
it's how I
you're
feel.
not. For me, as far as creativity, the algorithm is not gonna fool me.
Right.
I don't care what TikTok says.
Right.
You're not gonna fool me.
Yeah.
You might.
Puff says the algorithm has no rhythm.
You can go get a deal. You can tomorrow off of that thing, right? Have 7 million people following you. You can go from overnight, right? But then you got to go and have a career.
Yeah.
And because you didn't do the work, there was no discipline in it. It's almost like somebody being in high school and someone seeing them play and didn't do the background work. Like, okay, what league did they play in? Who was the competition? What was whatever?
Right.
And now you think that they can play a dude. No, homie, you're gonna find out very quickly that you play in the ACC and it's totally different.
Right.
And so, yeah, the work's just got to be done. We always say this: you can't circumvent the work.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like is happening right now. And that's what I feel like is costing our music specifically, right? Whereas in country right now, they are dialed the fuck in.
Right.
The songs are amazing. It's always been amazing, but the storytelling is now more amazing the production is getting more nuanced.
Correct.
And they're figuring and
They're adding so much to it.
they're adding
pop,
so
R&B,
much.
like there's so many elements.
And
they're
now
adding
it's
to.
crossing over, and
It's
now
marketable now.
Correct.
It's not.
They're scaling it.
It's not Alabama. And
it's not.
Tennessee
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah, yeah.
It's a huge thing.
Yeah.
And again, it's a part of evolution, and it's also a part of like them understanding like our music just isn't for the internet on World Star for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
They're protecting it, and that's what we don't do.
We don't do that.
We don't protect our music.
Right.
We're not protecting our culture. It's just like it's for sale.
Yeah.
And then you got everybody like now with the AI thing. It's like, come on, man. That's not good for us.
Yeah. I did want to ask this question too, because you've been in the game for such a long time and you've worked with amazing people that have amazing catalogs. A lot of people are selling their catalogs, but at a younger age. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I did the same. I'm not mad at it because it goes back to the whole reinvesting in yourself aspect. Because if you're selling it and you're able to collect a multiple,
20.
now, if it's a 20 or whatever it is now, and you can use that money to now reinvest and build. I'm not mad at that. If you don't need it, then you don't have to do it. But for someone that is in a situation where like, you know what, I can really use this now to really better my family, set some things up.
Like you have an actual,
I have a plan.
a plan for
Yes,
it,
I have a
like a
plan.
plan. But also too, you're still,
And I'm still active. Exactly.
and you're still cranking out those things.
You
Exactly.
can
to
develop
expand
another
your
catalog.
business.
Correct. I'm in the midst of
Yeah.
building a new catalog.
Yeah, and I was having this conversation with a friend because they were talking about it, and I said that exact same thing. I said, if it makes sense, you always sell high. You want to sell high.
Yeah.
But if you have a plan and you're still active, then why not?
Right.
You know what I mean? But, I think it's
Because you also can't, you can't predict what's going to happen.
You cannot.
I don't know if it's gonna, they call it the decay of, of the catalog. Now you're introducing AI. I don't know. We go through another pandemic. There's so many like
variables.
Yeah, give me that now.
Yeah.
And
We'll take that.
We'll take that. We'll flip it.
Yeah.
And keep building.
How's the partners we pick in our lives, all of our partners, so important, right? Like it can be extremely damaging or it can be extremely help us flourish, right? In your case, your partner, your wife, extremely established, well-established businesswoman. How is that? How do you feel it might be different than other relationships that you've observed where not a man or whoever isn't moving in the same frequency? You guys are on the same frequency. You guys the trajectory is like this. We are trying to go get it. We are trying to better our family. We're trying to constantly source information. Explain, how does that make you feel every day to be with someone in that situation?
Dude, it's like, she puts the battery in my back. Like, just by watching how hard she goes, makes me go, all right, I can't just sit in my ass and, and wait for things to happen. Like
Let me go get that multiple.
I got to go get it, I have to go get it because, she's a pit bull in a skirt,
Yeah.
How'd you guys meet, if you don't mind me asking?
Serendipitous. I was at the studio.
That's the title. Sorry, that's the title of this episode.
So we don't even have to.
We don't even have to ask. You don't gotta,
Serendipitous.
all right, go ahead.
I was at the studio and I got a call from one of my boys. He goes, "Hey man, can you meet me at the Roosevelt? I just want to meet. I want to talk to you about something." And bro, usually I don't leave. If I'm in the studio, I'm there.
Locked in.
Usually people come pull up, whatever. Something said, all right, let me just go. So I get there. The thing he wanted to meet about, I was turned off in like 2 minutes. I was like, all right, well, I drove all the way over here for, He was like, hey, I got a couple girls coming. You know, you want to kick it? I said, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll stay for that.
I will stay for that. So we order a couple drinks, and in comes, you know, Trey and her friend. And I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? What's
How
going
you
on?
doing?
And you know, I'm going in, and she's not even. It was business, because at the time she was managing Khalees,
Okay.
and you know, we got to talking about Khalees, and we set up a date for
Play.
Khalees and I to work, whatever.
Okay.
And the day that we were supposed to, you know, work together, she hit me and goes, "Hey, Khalees is she's having a problem finding, you know, childcare. I think we're gonna have to cancel the session." And I was like, "Oh, all right. Well, you know, what are you up to?" And she still was like, super just business. And she said, "You know what? Actually, we're going bowling tonight. If you want to just like, you know, pull up, catch a vibe."
Pins.
Not pins. We went to, I think it was
Lucky Strike.
Lucky Strike.
Okay. It's only two out here.
Yeah, we went to Lucky Strike. So I pull up to Lucky Strike. We play pool, whatever. And that's when I realized, like, I was like, she's mad cool. And fast forward, like a couple weeks later, one of my boys goes, "Hey, why don't you come up to Bootsy Bellows? You know, we're going out tonight." And I'm like, "All right, cool. You know what? Actually, nah, I'm good. I'm actually home." And he goes, "Well, Tracy's gonna be there." All right, let me get dressed. So I pull up. It's me, him, Jimmy Iovine's like nephew or something. We're standing outside. And
DJ? Was it DJ?
It wasn't DJ.
Okay.
It was one of someone,
Yeah.
I forget exactly, but it's me, Pro, and him. We're standing outside, and we can't even get in the club. And she pulls up. She goes, "Don't worry, I got it." Talks to the bouncer for like 2 seconds, gets us in. And we get to talking inside Bootsy Bellows, and I'm still going in, and nothing. Damn, I can't break this.
Can't crack this.
I can't crack this one, you know? So finally, I'm like, you know what? Man, it was nice to see you. I had to go home. I had to go feed my dog. She's like, "What kind of dog you have?" I was like, "I have a Frenchie." She's like, "Oh my God, I have a Frenchie." And literally, that was it. From that moment on,
So y'all was walking Frenchies together.
together. From that moment on, we were tight.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
With you guys both being extremely busy, successful, how's work life, parenthood balance?
Yeah.
It's a lot. I mean, she is the ultimate teammate, man. I think we're just such a great team, you know. And it's important for her to continue being her. You know what I mean? Like, you got to allow your partner just to really be them. And she allows me to be, you know, to be me. And we're just really good at, you know, oh, but you got to go to whatever part of the world.
Went to Dubai for a little bit.
Whatever. I'll hold it down, blah, blah, blah.
Got it.
We just
Adjustable.
we adjust, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just
Communication.
one thing as a parent. I think everybody who's a parent should hear that, especially parents that are in relationships, whether you're together or you're co-parenting. You have to be adjustable for the kid.
For sure.
You got to be good teammates.
You have to pull away all that, like.
Yeah, even when it's not going good, like, because you know, marriage is.
Yeah.
Even when it's not flowing, we know what the main objective is. We got to make sure fam is good.
Got to.
Fam is number one.
Yeah, if the home ain't right,
nothing.
Push out all that other shit. Put it aside. Kids thriving, us thriving. We can help each other thrive. That's what we're gonna do.
Correct.
There's no other option.
Yeah.
There's no other option.
What are some projects or some things you're working on now that you're
talk about our girl from Lodi.
That's exactly what I was gonna talk about. Destiny Rogers. You know, we and he knows.
Ray, tell him. Ray, can you tell him?
Malik is the first to believe. Like,
bro,
he's
always so early on. I was looking back. I found text messages from you from early 2017 talking about Giveon. There's so many of those messages I can go and look back and be like, yo, this knucklehead.
No, this guy is always first. He's always first. It's funny because when we went to go shoot the video for Tomboy, he pulled up.
No one knows where Lodi is.
Yeah, he pulled up and he was like, yo, I really want to like sign this girl. fortunately, you know, it didn't happen, but
Yeah,
we
yeah.
ended up going to RCA and
Still a fan. That's the other thing. We remain cool because
for sure.
advocacy is not about whether I get it or not. It's about I believed in the artist. You then can't be a dick and
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
yo, it's like, yo, I know somebody who's writing great songs. You want to meet them? That's how I approach
yeah.
all of it, you know. But yeah, man,
But
talk
yeah, so when
Destiny.
we did, just working with her, I feel like we were putting songs out that weren't necessarily reflecting her. It was just like, let's just try to make fire songs and let's make hit records. But nowadays, you've got to really tell the story. You know what I mean? You got to know who you're talking to, who the audience is, and what the narrative is. You know what I mean? So I think we're at a point right now where we're about to release her new project, but we're at a space where she is being 1,000% her. You know, she grew up in a religious home where
Catholic,
you know,
Hispanic.
yeah, Catholic, Hispanic, and being homosexual is just not accepted.
And in the middle of nowhere. It's not like she's from like some bustly metropolis. She's from Lodi, which is like I don't even still know where it is, but it's like 2 hours from me. I flew into the Sacramento
Yeah,
airport.
I want to say it's like 45 minutes from Sacramento.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
It's deep.
But anyway, like she's now fully being comfortable with who she is, and when we put this out, you'll see how it rolls out.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. But thank you like so much for your contribution and sharing the story, man. I think it's what we aim to do is obviously we have people that are out there and in front of the cameras that we love, but I think the true important is when people like yourself step from behind the scenes and share these important stories about your journey and what it's taken to stay in such a high level for 20 something years
Yeah.
and the background and those things because again you can sit here for 3 hours and tell stories about all these artists and the parties and the events, but what people need to hear is those steps, those ordained steps.
Nah, for sure.
And the work you put in to even be in this position.
For sure. Yeah, and it's just knowing that, obviously we're in this music game or entertainment game, but I think the game that I'm trying to win at is the game of life. And then, like, you know what I mean? Like bringing up my kids, and that's what's more important to me. It's funny because, going back to what I was saying about, I really wanted to emulate like Puff or like Pharrell or Jay-Z or all these guys. And now that I'm older, I realize I want to be more like my dad,
That's fire.
That's the person I really want to be like, is like my father, like the way he sacrificed, and him and my mom made sure that, they supplied this life for myself and my sister. My sister's a doctor. She's a
doctor
chemist.
what?
She's a chemist. Like she, when you put shampoo in your hair, like she's the one that puts the.
Like she know how everything gonna react.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So like to come from Haiti and like to come here and build a life for, your kids, and now that they took that baton and are taking it further, we're trying to do the same for our kids and have them. I can't even imagine what they're gonna do, but that's what I'm in it for.
Producer's he's gonna tell us we gotta get out of here. But one last thing, your wife being Vietnamese, right?
And Chinese.
And you're Haitian and your mother is
Haitian. And my whole family is Haitian. My mom's Haitian and Chinese.
Do you have any thoughts of like going back to those countries? And
Haiti is just not a place where you can go right now. It's,
okay.
Yeah, the government, there's no government, I've been maybe twice.
Vietnam at all? Have you guys been?
No, we haven't been to Vietnam.
Okay.
That's definitely a trip that we want to take the kids for sure.
Okay.
We're planning on doing that in like next year or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you can do it on a PJ.
Don't tell him. He said, "Don't tell my business."
Yeah,
Like, hey, listen, Ray Romulus, Chief Johnson, Malik Rashid, A Sweet Life. Y'all be good.
All right, y'all.
Thank you guys
Peace.
so much. Appreciate you guys.